Super awkward Funcast. You're listening to the Super Awkward Funcast. Yeah.
Now on to Leslie Sloan again. August 15th, 2024. Same day. Long ass day. Leslie Sloan and reporter Travis text exchange where Leslie creates the headline and content for the reporter. She's doing all of this for Lively. And people want to give shit to Tag. Crazy. Travis says, we're cutting the word demands and making all other suggestions. Would love any source quotes to respond to Blake made wardrobe and script changes behind Justin's back. Headline is this: Inside Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's bitter creative struggle on It Ends With Us. Leslie says, why? That's not cool. He says, what would you like it to be changed to? Take out butter, please. Bitter. Light that. Is it out? Just made the ask. Shit, hold on. Butter. We'll confirm in a couple minutes. Changing to intense. Can we take out adjective? Thus is made up. Please. I'll try. It was a fight to get bitter changed. Should I call Dan? I don't think it will help. When? Why? The digital writers always put in an adjective when talking about any type of feud. It's an SEO thing. I can suggest another one. I just hate it. Let me see what I can do, but they seem to be set on an adjective. Begging. Trying. Any word. What about our other story? Just heard we can use any other adjective, but it's not an engaging other story without it. Let's think. I pitched, but people only care about this one today. Which I think is the wrong move. Luckily, nothing more back from his side. Thank you. I'll send the story in a few moments when it's live. Usmagazine.com. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's It Ends With Us feud. You forgot to link the fat shaming and the inappropriate kissing allegations. Adding now. Just asked and we have to go back to his rep about it. Will be added in soon. His team hasn't denied that in the past, so shouldn't be an issue. It's in the press already, but we didn't yet, so we have to run by. Being added in within 10 minutes. Okay, so she's like doing all this behind the scenes, like trying to stir shit up. Again, the leaks are coming from her. That's not coming from Justin or any of her, or any of Tag. So it's crazy how she turned it around. So August 15, 2024, Justin, Jen Abel, and Jamie support each other and discuss the confusing fallout here. Let me skip through some of this stuff. Okay. This is his response to the text from Colleen Hoover at 11 p.m. This is Jamie responding as Justin, giving him something to say. I am deeply sorry to hear about the pain you're experiencing. Feeling alone on an island is just terrible. I want you to know with all sincerity that my team hasn't engaged in anything that would harm you, and they have not contributed to any negative articles. My heart breaks when I think about the distance that has grown between us, especially when I've always valued our collaboration and friendship so deeply. And more and more and more. Then Justin updates it. And the final product. Fuck. Okay. We already went over this, so let me see. This is what it came down to. He didn't send this, but he wanted to. And this was on the 16th of 2024, 8/16. 2:43 a.m. He said, I'm writing this to get out of my system. I'm not sending it. I'm sorry to hear this, but I need to express how I feel. Why didn't you come to me if something bothered you? We had open communication and a friendship. You knew the effort and sacrifices that went into this film from the beginning, and you were always included. Your thoughts and opinions were always respected, so I don't understand why you wouldn't have just talked to me. I didn't lie to you about the tattoo, though in hindsight, I shouldn't have blamed Blake. I was upset that she didn't read the book, amongst many other things. After your text, I revisited the original designs of the hollowed heart, and you're right. Blake wasn't to blame. That was my mistake. The original design missed the opening in the middle, and Blake had commissioned a tattoo artist to design it to her liking without even consulting me. I assumed the first design had the opening, but I realized that was a detail I missed in the chaos. I understand why you felt deceived, but it wasn't my intention. I was pissed at her and venting, which was the first time I did that with you, and if you felt uncomfortable, I wish you would have told me. I would have apologized immediately. The last time we spoke, you complimented me and expressed your gratitude for my efforts to honor the book. Then suddenly you disappeared, and I learned from the studio that you would only promote Blake's cut of the movie. I was forced to step down and let her finish the film, even though it performed worse. You cut off all communications, unfollowed me, along with the rest of the cast. I was devastated. At that dinner, I told you everything that happened, including my mistakes. I don't know what was said behind the scenes, but this entire situation could have been avoided if we had communicated like mature adults. I have not engaged in any PR to harm anyone. Instead, I was isolated, excluded from the process, and treated like an outcast. I had to do all the press on my own, and I wasn't even invited to my own premiere. When I did attend, I was relegated to a basement with my family and friends, separated from everyone else, and told to leave early and that we could not attend our own after party. I don't know what terrible things you heard about me that would be deserving of your actions, but all I can say is that what you all did was heartbreaking, and it has deeply affected my life and family. This wasn't just about the film, it was a betrayal of our friendship, and to be okay with Blake and Ryan run a smear campaign against me and leak their grievances to the press after taking over the film and excluding me from the press and premiere when all of this could have just been handled like mature adults makes it even more heartbreaking. But yes, onward. Then he says, good morning, 1:09 p.m. Jen says, morning, congrats on crossing 100 million. Congratulations, this is the type of detail we focus to start driving forward a more positive narrative. He says, hi, all, can we talk? I think Melissa is on a plane heading back to the States, but I'll let the team chime in here. I'm available until 1 p.m. Okay, can we all hop on a Zoom now? They hop on a Zoom. More stuff. He said, let's see, full damage control. I wonder if another source can say that the reason we have an August release was because she refused to promote the movie and insisted on infringing on the director's editorial rights. I don't think they can say that, girl. Brianna says, this looks crazy. Everyone is saying she needs to just stop all these stories and backtracking. Matthew says, what's that, Michelle? Or right, they go low, we go high. Good energies and positivity will set us free. Your faith and profound belief have helped you rise above the chatter, and we have to help you there. And then Brianna says, I don't understand if they're forcing Leslie's hand or if Leslie actually thinks there's any strategy to this. I feel it's the first. Katie's emphasized that. Jen says, updated suggested script. We just spoke to Jamie and he has a few thoughts on a potential reposition. We will stand by as you guys workshop further. In the meantime, I encourage everyone to read that TMZ article. It's very strategic in our opinion. The quotes about the entire cast standing by her to create further divide. For the video, it was also a little slow. I think you can still be thoughtful but mindful of the pacing to ensure people listen to the whole thing, and also media when pulling quotes. Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a video. I'm not going to ignore what's happening. It's been a crazy week and a half, and I'm so honored we all are here at Wayfarer that this film that we have all poured our lives into is being so well received all over the world. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's gone to see this movie, to all people who have gone to see the movie. Thank you for showing up. We would not be here if it weren't for Colleen, who trusted us with her story, and for our partners at No More, who put so much time into guiding us. I underestimated how prevalent this issue is, and I especially want to say thank you to all of you who are coming out and sharing your stories. This is why we made the movie. That's it. That is why we made the movie. That's it. I always said if there was just one person who saw this film, read this story, and felt brave enough to leave their abusive relationship, it would have been worth it. And to those who have sent messages, left comments, DMs, everything, I can't even begin to tell you how much this has all touched me and our team. Thank you. But with that, I just want to remind everybody that that's what we should be focused on: the bravery, the strength, the education, the resources. That's what this is all about. The noise is starting to overpower the message, and I want to urge all of us to refocus on the issue. Without the people in this film, the entire cast, the crew, everyone involved, none of this would be possible. Everyone deserves to be celebrated right now. That's all I wanted to say. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Go see the film if you haven't already, and remember to lead with kindness. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. All right, moving on to Jen Abel and Matthew Mitchell and Tag discuss the social fallout and how Colleen brought it on herself along with Blake on August 16th. I see your point for sure, but Tatiana somewhat operates on her own, so there would be some separation. Not super concerned, but we can sleep on it. Katie says, plus, they're definitely in cahoots with THR. We'll take variety, LOL. Matthew says, fair, I hear you. Just wanted to pose the question. We do not want to go nuclear, but feeling he really wants something out there and feels something like this is more hands-off than doing some bigger takedown of Blake, which could backfire. Katie says, this is also something, this is also something someone knowledgeable of the industry, e.g. Tatiana, would stumble upon on their own. We have a few edits too, but Jen will wait until we have their feedback to incorporate. There are a few items we'd like to shift, but nothing major. Can we start with, I'm very sorry to hear this and appreciate you sharing with me, versus I'm very sorry that you feel like that. I love him. Oh my gosh, who posted? Who is this? I'll never find out. I don't know why I'm trying to click on it. It's not even clicking. What's not clicking? That. Okay. I love him. Thank God he posted. We have made it. I know I'm obsessed. It's the chest for me. And then somehow things like this still find their way into my algorithm. More stuff that they're sharing. Ugh, I have no idea why JB wants to hop on a call. Is there anything out there I might have missed? LOL. Nothing that we've seen. More recaps, a few headlines saying, despite the drama, film is massive success. Yeah, same. Okay, good. Katie says, I'm thinking perhaps the Colleen response, but sorry guys, today's a bit of a nightmare scheduling-wise, as a few of our teams are on planes, hence the shorter window of time. No, it's good. We need to set boundaries. There's nothing to do for the Colleen response. Just leave it alone. Do you guys agree? I agree 100%. She doesn't deserve anything else. Oh no, Colleen, you're facing the consequences of your own actions. Oh no, oh no, oh no. LOL. Also, didn't Leslie tell you guys she was helping out both Colleen and Isabella? Or did I make that up? LOL. This is a KC response I didn't even know I needed. Ha ha. Oh no is the theme of today. When Casey flips, guys, she flips. Don't let the Michigan friendliness blind you. She's worse than Jen and I ever could be. Trust me. Oh my gosh, that's not true. Fully is. I just don't like Colleen trying to be like, woe is me. I want to wear pretty dresses and get hair care, and people got mad at me, and it's your fault, Justin. It's the gosh that sets you apart. I love it so much. I very much hold on to my Midwesternness. Just wait until you guys get a holy cow or holy smokes, LOL. I just feel it's overshadowing such a big moment to placate to these BLRR assholes who have created this drama and did all of this. Agree. A hugely successful week, crossing 100 million. That's key for industry people to read for future work. Future investors, etc., don't want to hear more about the drama. Also, page 6 calling me right now, saying they have a story that RR might be getting in trouble with WGA. May need to go off camera to call her back to get details in a bit. Okay. Daily Mail article, backlash disturbing ends movie, feud Justin Baldoni. Fans pissed that the film partnered with her Betty Boos, as most domestic violence occurs when people are drinking. They're just finding our angles now. P6 calling back. Oh wow, I think you should bring this up, or I can. This was bound to come out, it's so true. Okay, great, I'm on with her now if you want to bring it up. All you, Jen. This was posted August 9th. Okay, she's just still digging around but coming to us if there's anything we can point her to. Could he get in trouble? What are the repercussions here? He has no credit on the film but allegedly contributed. References the People article with the screenwriter, so didn't know what RR did, thought it was ad-libbed. Appears no one was alerted to his involvement. Writing during the writer's strike. Was he doing this during the strike? Not sure there's much we can give. She said she'll stay close as her story unfolds, but those were toppling points. Interesting people are catching on to this. Blake herself did this FYI. She said on the Aussie in an interview that he wrote. So point her to this on background. She's baiting them. Agree. Exactly. Ryle supplements. Matthew, I am deceased. Game on, Holly. And beyond. Ha 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 ha. Those bangs. Jen, I like your new look. Team any feedback to the Wash Po copy I sent over. The No More team wants to send that over ASAP. I only have one slight change, which I just sent back. Hi guys, for the video I wanted to brainstorm here before going back to Justin. These are our thoughts. Remove "it's been very hard" because we don't want anything to be misrepresented. Adjust to "all people who have gone to see the movie. Thank you for showing up," so it's not gendered. For the ending, we suggest changing the language after "this is always what it was about" to the following: "Let's please be mindful, let's be kind, let's celebrate everyone who worked on this film and created something so special and did a phenomenal job. Everyone deserves to be celebrated. Thank you so much." I hate it. LOL, sorry. It's too slow and too long. My Wi-Fi has been awful and not even on purpose. Let me transcribe this and rewrite the script, and then would love your guys' input from there. This is going to backfire. Liar. You will never know. Dead. I bet Holly always has good Wi-Fi. LOLs. Matthew laughs at that. Bangs for days, Holly. Oh wait, that sounds bad. Oops. Says spokes for Justin Baldoni. Okay, how's this? Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a video. I'm not going to ignore what's happening. It's been a crazy week and a half and I'm so honored, blah blah blah. Thank you for showing up. That's all I wanted to say. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Go see the film if you haven't already, and remember to leave with kindness. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Very slight edits, do we think? Does mentioning Colleen poke the bear? Hey everyone, blah blah blah. Shows it all. I think we need to lead with Colleen. You don't want to specifically say the women in this film. I feel like we need that since only the women are getting hate, no? TMZ article, Blake Lively not addressing feud. Interesting timing. I opened it up to people because the crew have spoken out in support of him, and Hassan and the guy from Grey's Anatomy were really kind too. Just wanted to broaden it out because in fairness he's been super vocal on this being a female-led film already. Sent EW in the main thread because it's important to show how much she's backpedaling right now. I find it curious that these are all so dropping late in the day Eastern on a summer Friday. It's like they were pressured to write, didn't want to, but said, okay, we'll get something up, so they buried it on Friday afternoon, right? You're 100% correct. This is ODD, timing-wise, I mean. They should have pushed back on the hair care timing thing days ago. That was at 6:37 p.m. on the 16th of August. August 17, 2024, Ryan Reynolds and Warren Zavala declare war on Justin Baldoni. Starting at 8:07 p.m. on the 17th, Reynolds says they have to start advocating for her. Warren says, Tom is finding out internally about these two things. Tom Rothman, guys. Spoke to Josh briefly. He is calling me this evening. His point is that the studio messaging in the article didn't carry in the way he had hoped. My point was that they need to dispute it to kill it, not resolve it publicly. They need to frame it the right way. This isn't hard. The sentence needs to start with, feels like they're trying to thread the needle. They just need to fucking go straight at this. Sony would like to acknowledge the predominant narrative around IEWU. This is incredibly wrong and untrue. This is part of a systematic and coordinated campaign by a crisis PR team. I plagiarized this. And they've let her hang on the marketing angle as well, which is unforgivable. This is mess they got her into. They are not keeping her safe on every front. I text Josh about this again this morning. The THR thing they did was a joke. This morning I sent Josh this. We see the backlash over how IEWU was marketed. We see it targets Blake specifically, but marketing and messaging a wide theatrical release like this film is something that is designed and decided by teams of people, influenced by deep research, and performed by teams of experts internationally. This work is led by the studio distributing the film. Our goal was to release a film that covered an important subject matter that wasn't rooted in female trauma, but instead female triumph. This is a choice we all made. We see and acknowledge any survivors who wish we marketed this differently. We see and acknowledge the overwhelming positive impact the message of the film itself has had. We're thrilled this film has over-indexed and become one of the great success stories of the year. What a profound moment for women in film. And I've rewritten this extensively since sending to Josh. Can you resend? And this needs to be addressed immediately. This is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in this business. Sony needs to step up for real. Enough is enough. They claim they are trying to kill it. I told him that's not good enough. They need to actually own that the narrative around all of this is untrue. Tom owes me. Will rescind the above. How is this not extortion? Honestly. Warren says, hi, who is in touch with Daily Mail? They can send them my email. Jamie. They have to stop bullshitting us and get in front. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but because these guys are doing this all with zero repercussions. Baldoni needs to see that an entire studio knows what he's doing. Copy. They are covering their asses. It's about exposure. Yes, but our backs are against the wall. The threat of exposure gets way worse the more impotent they are in reacting to this. She's almost at the nothing to lose phase. Yes, I understand that, and that's the leverage. The reporter had reached out via email to Leslie, now has connected with Sony's head of comms. She has both the short statement and the longer version. I imagine killing the story is their focus. I plan to call Ari, Emmanuel, by the way, tomorrow and have him give his good friend Tom a call. Yeah, please, all hands on deck. And the marketing quote I gave you isn't for Daily Mail. That's for them to release wherever is most impactful. Yes, I got that. I was saying the daily thing needs to be killed and then the bigger issue, which is the thing I'm pressing on them. 100%. This was cool. Shows a TikTok. Call me, hung up with Tom. Our kids are really struggling and I'm trying to get them down right now. I'm hesitant to put it in writing, but the AD issue is true. I haven't spoken to her about this issue, but he is saying they have to assume there is a paper trail in the Wayfarer side. It was B who wanted her fired. We argued about a statement which he both said isn't possible due to liability, and getting Tony on the record to support her and speak to the marketing issue was big for them. However, carried around the world but didn't combat the fundamental issue, celebrity and gossip. We've left it that he's putting himself and the studio in a position with you and Blake legally. There is exposure on both sides for him. I will have Ari talk to him, but I do think this is people coming forward in support of her is our way through regardless. I have to assume they have a cadre of things that they plan to utilize within the bounds of production to make her look bad. Yeah, but Sony needs to speak to the marketing and frame it in the way I mentioned in that text. I don't see any way, shape, or form that it would put them in a bad position. It's just the truth, and they have it within their power to do this. It's a light lift, and the least they can do. They can't abandon her on this subject. And yes, the AD was fired. She wasn't keeping people safe and set. She was negligent in almost every way, and one of the reasons Blake and the other women dealt with so much dark behavior. She was let go before going back to work. And this was almost part of the return to work document, but they hired a new AD. The backlash to the backlash will hopefully start soon. What do you know, Ryan? What do you know? Warren says, this is what I'm waiting for. Tom said the same. He claims they addressed the marketing in the article. I suppose it's about getting Tara and Josh to understand the difference. I need to go back and read their article in your draft. Shares a TikTok. And you know the most heartbreaking thing about this analysis? Blake didn't realize that the rest of that interview was so redemptive. They're obviously only playing the section Melissa Nathan isolated and amplified. Blake believed their propaganda. She believed that she fucked up and has been kicking her own ass for the unforced error, but she actually answered his question with sensitivity and thoughtfulness. They aren't framing it with any teeth. That's interesting that he would use that phrase when we know that she said that she would bust his balls with teeth. Not with teeth. Was it not with teeth? Anyway, interesting to use that turn of phrase for both of them. And we know that he writes things for her sometimes, so it makes you wonder if he wrote that flirty text to Baldoni before. Anyway, it sounds like a bland as fuck studio opining on their big win. It needs to begin by acknowledging the cultural conversation and the systematic campaign coordinated by Justin's crisis management team. Warren says, I think the last part is what the lawyers buck against. Let us keep leaning in. We will unleash Ari. We will unleash Ari. We will. Oh, you will. And then he'll be like, oops, never mind. And he'll delete the unleashed statements from history. But we still know what he said in that podcast that will never be released. We still know what you said, Ari. But someone playing the game at the same level as them in terms of the internet is what we need. Or trust the backlash to the backlash will happen organically. Because it makes no fucking sense. I've already noticed posts like yours above. There is a going to wait and see, or this doesn't make sense sentiment building in my estimation. Then don't blame Justin. But they can't pretend that something like is normal. This is coming from his crisis PR. Yes, that's fucked, and I'm not surprised she's doing that. How can one not? She's probably rethinking all of these moments. If I'm feeling disheartened, she has to be gutted. She will make it through this. We are at war, says Warren. We are at war. The only person in a war is Ryan Reynolds, oddly enough, and Lively. Did something happen I'm unaware of? No, just a general assessment of these fuckers. Damn, Warren. Agreed. Any update on Sony? And can Ari go full Ari on Tom? They effectively got the Daily Mail to not print the AD story. I huddled with Jamie earlier and let her know. I also want to be clear on our task for Ari. He will willfully go full Ari on all of them, but we want to know what we are having him accomplish. That is at least some good news. This wasn't for the DM story, but Blake remembered that every single department head from the film crew wrote letters to the PGA, so Blake would have the producer's mark in the credits. There are 19 of them, and each one is a testimonial to not only her work ethic, but her character. It's so goddamn redemptive, and I'm so happy we have them. Also, they're time-stamped from a couple months back, so nobody can say it was reactive to the situation. It's irrefutable and objectively clear what her contribution was and how she worked so well and so inclusively with each department of the crew. 6:11 p.m. It ends with Warren saying, redemptive is exactly the right word. I agree. I'm not a part of the strategy going forward, and it's opaque to me, but I would think should be aware of these letters. We have to assume there are also notes or texts sent to the other side from crew and actors saying kind things. Whether or not they were really meaningful, they may now begin to surface if there is a volley of information. Then we have, in terms of promo, we have this little bit from the moviereport.com. It ends with us interviews Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Brandon Sklenar, Jenny Slate, and Colleen Hoover. Let's get a look at this.
And makes you laugh and makes you cry and just makes you feel. It's tricky. Like, I'm a diehard. When I read a book, I want the movie to be exactly what the book is. But I also, my own imagination is always going to be different than, what someone else could intuit my imagination might be. And then sometimes I forget what was in my own imagination versus what's in a movie because they start to blend together. But I think that what matters most to me as a fan is that the essence and the spirit of the people that I fell in love with are the people. Like, if the wall is green and Lily blooms, but our wall is purple, it doesn't really matter. Like, if I'm a book reader, it's that the people I fell in love with, the stories
and she's not a book reader, because remember, she didn't read the book.
Fell in love with, the journeys I fell in love with, that grabbed my heart and soul.
That's why she's being very vague in what she's saying, because she did not read the book. Let's skip. I can't stand her. No, I can. I'm fine. All right.
Honesty of my heart and emotions onto Lily, and I think that that's why the performance is one that I'm very proud of, because it feels very authentic and true to like an emotional journey that I can track. And while I've it's silly to say I've been fortunate to not experience anything that Lily has. It shouldn't be fortunate, but it's all too often that women experience this. And so I think that the reason that it feels very authentic is because it was as if I were experiencing this.
Yeah, remember, Harvey never touched her. So she had only good things to say about Harvey Weinstein, because he never did anything to her, so it's fine.
What would my heart feel? What would my reactions be? And that's what I tried to bring to it, because I felt like that was the way that I could give everyone the most authentic Lily. I speak like me. I move. This is the most time I move my hands, because I move my hands a lot in real life in my face. And when I'm acting, I try not to do that, because people in real life maybe don't move their hands as much, but I do. So I just let more of myself come through. And so I feel like.
So you were becoming the character. You were putting too much of yourself into the character, which is not really what you're supposed to do as an actor. You're supposed to be natural. But it's not supposed to be all you in the character, which is what you were presenting to him also in text messages.
I think you can feel the authenticity in Lily, because she's not pretending to be someone. It's just the true feelings.
Well, originally, my dear friend and book agent, I'm going to shout out to Johanna Castillo, who also helped discover Colleen originally when she was at Atria Books. She sent me the book because she knew I was looking for content for Wayfarer Studios that could really affect and touch people's lives. And so she sent me this book. It had this pink flowery cover, and I had never read a romance novel before. So I remember getting into bed, I wrote a book called Man Enough, and yet I remember feeling strangely not man enough to read this book. I was kind of embarrassed. And my wife looks over and she's like, "What are you reading?" And I was like, "Johanna sent it to me. It's supposed to be amazing." And the book at the time hadn't become this massive global phenomenon. So I start reading, and boom, Ryle comes on the rooftop. We meet Lily. So I start reading, and we meet Lily Bloom. She's on this rooftop, and bam, Ryle comes in, and they start having this conversation, and it's sexy and interesting, and I'm finding myself suddenly understanding what so many
He said sexy again. Stop it.
millions of women gravitate to, and I'm gravitating to it, and I'm like, oh, I could read more romance novels. And as the book gets deeper and deeper, and kind of the layers of the onion are unpeeled, and you start to understand what the book is really about. I just remember having this moment of like, oh wow, I haven't ever seen anything like this. I actually recently went back and read all of our email exchanges from 5 years ago, from 2019. And it was a really interesting time because I started reading the book, but I was right in the middle of releasing my first film, 5 Feet Apart. And simultaneously, I was shooting a TV show that I was on called Jane the Virgin. And we had just had a baby, and things were just crazy. But I was so hooked on the book, and I was committed to finishing it, that it took me a little longer than I wanted to. So I would like start it, I'd read 5 chapters, and then I'd have to go, and I couldn't get back to it for a week or so. So my emails to Colleen and our back and forths were like, okay, I've just started the book. Oh my gosh. And then a few weeks later, and I remember finishing the book, and I wrote Colleen this like impassioned letter, just pouring my heart out and saying like, this is why I'm a filmmaker. This is why we started Wayfarer Studios, to tell stories like this. And if this book, before it had become a global sensation, had already helped thousands of women leave situations like Lily was in, I knew that if we could find a way to adapt it, which we knew wasn't going to be easy, then we had the potential to impact millions of lives. And that's why I'm in this business. Nothing against just popcorn movies, but I feel like for me, I want to touch people's souls. And this book and Colleen, it reached in and touched my soul. And I wanted to pay that forward. What was interesting at the time was that this was not a big book. This was Colleen Hoover in 2019 was a secret. She was like...
And now she's annoying as fuck. Okay, so let's move on to the next text exchange. Okay, so this was August 18th, 2024. I want to say, because there's a comment about this being old, yes, we're going through all of the text messages. This is a series of episodes of this ongoing thing where we are reading the texts and emails throughout the case. So if you haven't seen the first episode of this, you're going to be very confused and be like, what? Because this is supposed to go through the entire timeline. This is supposed to go through everything. It's not supposed to be like all the updates. I already did the updates in the beginning of the show, so you can go back to the beginning of the stream to get that information, just so you know. All right, so August 18, 2024, Justin and team text exchange discussing how Justin got stuck in an elevator. It's pretty silly. Nothing really there. They're just like talking about digital campaign thing. Bots again. Let's see the bots thing because that's the most important part. Melissa says, I can fully confirm we do not have bots. This is not also what we do. Bots look fake to anyone. The other team is doing something very specific in terms of what they do. I know Jamie and Jed connected on this. Bots and fan accounts also run pretty organically by now with all the AI platforms and Google Analytics itself. There is no bot army that's a myth these days. Any digital team these days is far more intelligent to utilize something so obvious. He's like, okay, thank you. How's everyone today? Anything new? She says, nothing new today. All looking good. We still have a little way to go. I would say about a week left. Staying extra cautious. And he's like, I appreciate you all. Thanks for helping me get through this. Team JB. So that's what happened on that date. And then August 19th, media outlets began emailing about the marketing of It Ends With Us and Ryan Reynolds' involvement. Okay, Angela Yang from NBC Universal, 3:39 p.m. to Jamie Candle. NBC News inquiry for Ryan Reynolds. Hi, Jamie. I'm Angela, reporter for NBC News, writing a story looking at how domestic violence survivors feel about the marketing around It Ends With Us. Despite the film involving themes of intimate partner violence, the promotion of it has received backlash for appearing to portray it as a fun summer romance. Some of the criticism has also touched on Ryan Reynolds' involvement during the marketing campaign, with people saying that Ryan and Blake's cross-promotion of each other's films took away from the focus on domestic violence and It Ends With Us. Ryan is not the focus of the story, but would he like to share any comment on this? Thanks for your time. Best, Angela Yang. And then they respond, CCing Leslie Sloan. Aren't we just putting this in the studio and their marketing approach to the film? So there. Then we have August 19th, Justin and his team discuss the bots situation again. No bots, blah, blah, blah. Good morning. Sharing with you a perfect example of why we don't use bots. I wouldn't even worry to think they've hired a team as Nothing to find. They hired an awful team, which I've sent to our guy to track and pull so we have evidence of it. This below should answer everyone's question on what a bot team looks like when every single comment suddenly skews in her favor in a nonsensical way from Instagram. At least sprinkle them in. She needs to fire her bot team. Justin says, how can we say somehow that we are not doing any of this? It looks like we are trying to take her down. It doesn't. They are doing all this themselves, and it's really obvious. This is bots. And then shows bots. And then I'm going to monitor this really highly today. It will be really easy for us to show bots because there would not be so many pro her comments with the types of profiles that are commenting. And if they continue, you can easily show WME, Sony, or media if that's a group decision. But to media and to your fan base, it doesn't matter at all. They will not see this as a tide is turning thing. Your reputation right now is way stronger than hers. Okay, please monitor things. I'm more worried about is that we are planting these stories which are not true. Oh shit, that's really small. Let me go deeper. Chiming in here, Jen Abel, the people saying that there are bots and this is a PR play on your side is a minority voice compared to the thousands and thousands who are calling it what it is and reacting to Blake's own actions and interviews. We never want the action of the minority to dictate what we do on our end. We have always look at the big picture, which is still enormously on your side. But I do see a want and need from fans to move on. People are now commenting that they are bored with the many articles still coming out about this drama. When we move on, they do too. So we need to find ways to keep elevating not just the DV reaction, but also the other things in your life, like family, being back home, and Wayfarer. That's not tone deaf in my opinion, but sends the message that you are focusing on what really matters, and that's what will help with the Blake narrative too, my POV. Then we're finally at August 21st, 2024. Sanford Pinich is back, and he is texting Ange, I assume, discussing how cooked Blake is. It's quite ironic because she has a huge hit movie headed to 300 million plus and probably will never work again or not for a while, although even Hathaway recovered. Tom thinks she's probably and bizarrely unhireable right now. This will pass. She is going to be fine. I don't know, Ange. An apology to that reporter would help. That's referring to Charsti Flaw. Something to survivors too, other than a 24-hour thing on her Insta stories too. No, disagree. She is done for, at least for a while. It's cooked. She said she is retiring to Josh or something. It will take a few years. Eva Mendes time. She did it to herself. If she just let him come to the premiere or didn't make it, all the cast unfollow him or kick him off the movie, and did what everyone ever has done in show business for time and memorial, I think he means in memorial, which is protect the show, then none of the sleuthing would have happened. The hair sell at the same time was epic level stupid. She wouldn't listen. She knows better. International was astounding. 150 and 150 and could be more. All of this is true. August 30th, 2024. We're almost done with August finally. Fucking hell. Justin and Melissa Nathan text exchange where Justin has a gut feeling that Blake will take revenge for his imagined injustices. He is psychic. 11:44 a.m. How are you feeling about this? The truth hasn't come out yet. Seems to be getting more pickup now. Do you have any concerns or anything we should be worried about? I know that both my wife and I are both feeling like they could definitely be up to something over there. Melissa responds, I'm not feeling any type of way. I think people are still looking because it became such a gigantic story. But there is absolutely nothing else they can do. They have missed every timing opportunity to do it. We also know there was no truth to anything. So what can they say? Just continue speculative BS? I am not worried, and I promise you every single reporter knows I am working with you, and not one person has even come to us for anything, not even how are you feeling. If I felt you were in danger for anything minor, I would tell you. You know I'm not shy. I think it has a lot to do with all the worry you felt previously, for sure, but people have moved on, and she looks absolutely horrendous. I can't even think what her next move will be. It would have to be some positive movie news, or a new announcement, or a new hair mask. He emphasized that, laughed at that. It's a really good sign that no one media side has come to even ask anything, but if I hear anything, I promise to let you know. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just know her personality, and this is the kind of person that genuinely believes she's right and that all of this is unjust. She fully does. I know it. So those people seek justice, in quotes, at any cost. That's why I just have a hard time believing she's done. But trusting you, and grateful for you. She looks abominable if she does anything against you. She knows it. Loves that. And then he gives her hearts. Little did he know. Then September 4th, 2025, Claire Ayub has entered the chat. She submits her declaration against Justin. I, Claire Ayub, pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1746, hereby declare as follows. I wrote and directed a film called Empire Waste, which was produced by Wayfarer Studios, LLC. Justin Baldoni, a founder of Wayfarer, was a producer. As part of my work on Empire Waste, I have repeated negative interactions with Mr. Baldoni and his associates, including verbal abuse by Mr. Baldoni. I asked Wayfarer that Mr. Baldoni not be permitted on set during the majority of production as a result of those experiences. Empire Waste was set to be released in the fall of 2024. In August of that year, as a result of my experiences with Mr. Baldoni and ongoing press coverage relating to Mr. Baldoni and It Ends With Us, I requested that he not be involved in Empire Waste marketing or public relations efforts. Wayfarer agreed to my request. Less than a week after reaching that agreement, I was contacted by the assistant to Steve Sarowitz, the co-founder and co-chairman of Wayfarer, to schedule a time for me and Mr. Sarowitz to speak. Mr. Sarowitz's assistant did not identify a topic for the meeting. I feared that Mr. Sarowitz wanted to discuss my recent request relating to Mr. Baldoni. Worried that Mr. Sarowitz might pressure me to abandon the prior agreement that I had reached with Wayfarer, I recorded our meeting. A true and correct copy of that recording is being submitted to BL, because she's trying to help BL. Blake Lively there. I might be able to find this recording because we did hear it. So let me see. Yep, here it is. Shout out to Clark. Let me see if I can scooch down the volume here. Okay. It's a long recording, so let's just hear a little snippet of it. Like the end of it. There we go.
He's like a genius. He works with them for their feature lab, so he was my mentor for that. But he teaches at DePaul, so it could be a potential collab for them to show like their student films, to like do that kind of collaboration, or even like to turn it into like a film marathon for them to like learn from, or things like that for an hour. But I can connect y'all, connect him with Clay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh no, I love the community stuff, so that's why I asked how can I help.
And I'm extremely connected.
Oh, I know you are. Yeah.
So.
But especially, I think that's been the coolest thing. And I know for me, like the first time I got to see my movie on a big screen, like was unreal. Or even like going to film festivals and stuff and meeting other filmmakers is just always really fun and affirming. And I know, let me ask around. I'll ask around, especially in the Highland Park area, who I know doing stuff. Because yeah, especially like for young kids of color to see stuff that they shot on their freaking iPhone, like up on a big screen, like it's so cool. It's so cool.
We've done that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Honestly, like that side, and it's clear where your heart is too. But it's tough with the business side of wanting to make sure you know everything. Of course, it's in the black, because that's our job.
I have a friend who might want to do that for me. I gotta talk to.
Yeah.
Like start doing classes. For
honestly,
kids.
like when I tell you, like this is I teach, and I always offer financial aid because a lot of folks just to like clear that barrier. But what is so fun about it is it's them starting to build their own community too. So it's like having a teacher, but for them to be able to text each other, support each other.
She does this the whole recording. It's just a lot of her talking. Like, oh my gosh, she's insufferable.
And like start building that community early instead of feeling isolated. Like my filmmaker community had my back so hard during this. Like half of them were part of my director's cut early screening when I was like getting notes and things like that, and we support the hell out of each other. And like forming that early as a young creator, I mean, no brainer. And making, especially since you have a cafe, making it a place to hang out and like bring your ideas. Something I had for an idea down the road was having like a little board of like looking for creatives, like looking for a cinematographer, looking for a, you know, like kind of a thing where you can hang out. So like even turning your cafe into that kind of a supportive space for filmmakers could be fun.
We got a lot of work in front of us right now.
I know.
Anyway, I better run so I can have my break today.
Go have your break, and it was great talking to you. And I'm just sending all the love. I do hope it calms down. I will say that.
It's going to calm down. It's already calmed down.
Good. I'm glad. All right, my friend. It was great to see you. Thanks for hanging out.
Just wait. We'll see each other in person in 1 month.
I'm so psyched. I'm so psyched, and I'll send you all the good stuff.
Well, I'm really looking forward to getting it out there, and I'm glad that I couldn't believe we weren't going to do anything.
I know. I was a little bummed too. I know that, but also it's such a huge ensemble, and it's such a small budget film, and like Blue Fox is putting up a lot of cash to do a lot of the stuff, which I'm so grateful for. So for us, what I'm going to try to do between you and me, if we do a New York screening with Blue Fox, I'm going to see who they're flying out, and then I might fly out 2 other people from our like core cast, so they can all just like reunite together, and we can just celebrate, and like go to karaoke or something, just to celebrate. Yeah, it's why we do it, right? Community's everything. But when I tell you how excited people are around the world, I am. It's unreal.
That's wonderful. It just be a sleeper hit then.
Honestly, really cool. That's what everyone's saying. It's very cool. I'm not getting.
It would be great if we have another hit for Wayfarer, and we're going to.
No, right? And that's the thing. And this is a female-led project, right? Like of really like all female department heads, like everyone working on this project. I'm really centering like our casting team that did the nationwide casting call, because the casting agencies didn't have people. They didn't have them. So like we're hoping with especially Blacklist.
Didn't I just tell you I have to go? Is
going to be really amplifying the development process and what we did. So like adding that to industry recognition is going to be huge. So I'm very excited. I
love this women's empowerment. We have another. I think I told you another first-time director we supported.
Yes, a woman named Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, I'm so excited for her.
We're trying to get her first big break. Maybe people will hear her.
I mean, Scarlett Jo, who? I can't. I love it. No, but honestly, every time you're a first-time feature director, it's your first time being a feature director. It's tough. I love that.
She was so cool, calm, collected, and confident.
No,
and nice.
Which is what you want, and just professional, right? You want someone who's professional, who like.
I don't. It's so interesting because we work with so many people, and almost everybody's nice. And then there's Blake, who's just totally different than everyone else.
I'm sorry.
It's like not to say anything bad about her, but she's different.
There you go.
And I don't. I think for the most part, most people see what we're doing, see we're nice, and they're nice back. Even if they weren't perfectly nice. And I just think some people forgot to learn how to be nice.
The industry. I left it for a while, Steve. I left it for a while. There was a reason I was originally going to make this movie in my hometown. It's a tough, icky place. It can be a very icky place.
I think that there's a lot of good people out there. So what we're doing is we're figuring out who we want to work with, who we don't want to work with, and then we'll just work with them, and then it's done. Anyway, have a wonderful day. I'll see you
too. I hope you enjoy your break. It was good to see you.
Tell all your friends.
I will. No, I'm going to send the invite out. Absolutely. And I just have them RSVP to Clay, right? I think.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Awesome.
RSVP to Clay and or Elise.
Awesome.
I think she can help as well. Anyway, you can talk to Elise and Clay and ask who they want.
Perfect.
I actually think that it's probably better having to go through Elise and her team, but ask them who they want to go through.
I'll ask. Awesome. Thank you, Steve. I hope you have a good rest of your week.
You too.
Bye.
I'll see you.
I'm gonna fuck you over. Bye, Steve. Thanks so much for listening to me for 30 fucking minutes. All right, so I spared you some more of that, but that's where the quote was about him being Israel versus their Hamas and that whole thing, and there'd be 2 dead bodies by the end of it, being Ryan and Blake, basically. But that's in there, but in context, it was not. It was a joke, clearly, but it was blown out of proportion, of course, by Blake Lively and company. All right, we're getting this close to the Van Zandt subpoena. We're so fucking close, I can taste it. September 8th, 2024, Jennifer Abel and Sarah Nathan text exchange where they discuss press coverage. More of that. Hi, Jen, it's Sarah. Can you call when free? Thanks so much. Hi, yes, I'm in a junket. I can call you when I wrap. Give me 2 seconds to be alone. Fab, only one small thing I forgot to ask. Okay, so sorry. Give me a couple minutes. No rush. All okay now. Okay. Sending copy now. And this is what it is. Blake Lively made final cuts on It Ends With Us amid her rift with director and co-star Justin Baldoni. Page 6 is told the star who clashed with Baldoni on set was brought into the edit suite. It's the same thing we saw before. And then what does she say back? She says, can't say sources close to Baldoni. Can we say closest source to production with knowledge of the situation? And then perfect. And yeah, we read this already, so interesting. Yeah. We read this. Whoopsie daisy. Got a little duplicate in here. Keep you on the loop. Okay. Here we go. Are going to be such D-bags called the WGA. Haha, morning. I am so disgusted. Are you being fed anything new? Nothing. She would not dare. I sent a text saying, how could you feed this to THR and people? Seriously. How horrible and such a low blow. That TMZ's story is fun. Alright, so that's basically what happened there. And then October 1st, 2024, the Van Zandt subpoena to Stephanie Jones. From whom? You know, from Lively, basically. Samantha Katz, you have entered the chat, who was from Manat and signed off on this unethical subpoena and abusive process. You are hereby commanded, all business and excuses being laid aside, to produce at the law offices of Manat by October the 21st, 2024, true and complete copies of the documents requested on Schedule C, annexed hereto, which you have in your possession, custody, or control. The documents sought by Van Zandt Incorporated are material and necessary to the above captioned action. The action, because they relate to issues and matters to be tried in the action. Failure to comply with this subpoena is punishable as a contempt of court. How convenient. Also, this is a totally illegitimate document, as you'll see. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. The term you or your shall refer to JonesWorks LLC and any of JonesWorks LLC's past or present employees, representatives, or agents, including but not limited to Stephanie Jones individually or collectively. The term Lively shall refer to Blake Lively and any of her past or present employees, representatives, or agents, individually or collectively. The term Reynolds shall refer to Ryan Reynolds. Lively Reynolds Company shall refer to any of their companies, including Betty Buzz, Family Hive, LLC, doing business as Blake Brown Beauty, Aviation Gen, Mint Mobile, which I thought he didn't really own anymore, but okay, and Maximum Effort Productions. The film shall refer to the It Ends With Us film. Instructions. The subpoena concerns, refers, relates, and applies to any and all electronic records, data, documents, and communications. I am live. In your possession, custody, or control, collected from a cellular telephone containing the requested information. Let's skip to the end. Let's see. The subpoena is a continuing one if after producing documents you obtain or become aware of any further documents responsive to the subpoena, you are required to produce such additional documents. Let's get to the meat and potatoes again. If you encounter any ambiguity in construing any of the document requests or a definition or construction relevant to a document request, you shall make your best effort to interpret the request, definition, or instruction within the context of this litigation. Let's see. What is this concerning? What's the Schedule C? Let's find out. What is being requested in the documents here? This is the big thing that they were hiding for months. We didn't know this until very recently when it was unsealed. Finally. And it turns out, yeah, this isn't a legit fucking subpoena, just like we thought. 1. All documents and communications concerning Lively Reynolds, their families, and or the Lively Reynolds companies. 2. All documents and communications concerning instances of actual or apparent inappropriate conduct relating to sexual harassment or retaliation in connection with the production, development, marketing, publicity, or public relations of, for, or related to the film. 3. All documents and communications concerning allegations of actual or apparent inappropriate conduct relating to sexual harassment or retaliation in connection with the production, development, marketing, publicity, or public relations of, for, or related to the film. All documents and communications concerning investigations or other responses to allegations of actual or apparent inappropriate conduct relating to sexual harassment, etc., etc. All documents and communications concerning the marketing and publicity efforts or press related to the film. None of this is relevant to a breach of contract thing that they're trying to present in this subpoena. All documents, because Van Zandt has nothing to do with Jonesworks. So make it make sense. Or Wayfarer. All documents and communications concerning with respect to each of the categories 1 to 5 retaliatory actions taken in anticipation of the Lively Reynolds, their families, and or the Lively Reynolds companies making public disclosures or bringing claims regarding actual or apparent inappropriate conduct relating to sexual harassment in an effort to discredit, undermine credibility, or otherwise harm Lively Reynolds, their families, or the Lively Reynolds companies. Crazy shit. Crazy.